There's a quiet war that lives inside every human being, a war between what we want and what we should, between desire and duty, between the heat of passion and the calm voice of reason. We spend our lives pulled by two forces, one whispering, live freely, and the other, live rightly. And sometimes we can't tell which one is lying. Before we begin, if you've ever felt torn between your heart and your principles, between what excites you and what you know might destroy you, then you belong here. This is the human dilemma, and today we confront one of the oldest questions in philosophy. Can we ever truly balance desire and duty? 1. The ancient paradox of the human heart. Thousands of years ago, Plato believed that the human soul had three parts: reason, spirit, and desire. He compared them to a charioteer driving two horses, one noble and obedient, the other wild and untamed. The charioteer, reason, must keep both in balance. Too much control, and the soul becomes lifeless. Too much freedom, and it spirals into chaos. To Plato, desire wasn't evil. It was powerful, necessary even. But ungoverned desire was dangerous. He warned, the measure of a man is what he does with power. And the greatest power we possess is the power to want. Every desire, whether for love, success, or pleasure, carries within it the seeds of both creation and destruction. We cannot eliminate desire, nor should we. But philosophy asks, can we give it purpose? Can we let our passion serve something higher instead of being enslaved by it? 2. Aristotle and the ethics of balance. Where Plato saw control, Aristotle saw balance. He believed that the good life was not found in suppression, but in harmony. His concept of the Golden Mean taught that virtue lies between two extremes, excess and deficiency. For example, courage lies between cowardice and recklessness. Generosity lies between stinginess and extravagance, and love lies between obsession and apathy. Desire, for Aristotle, was not a flaw in our nature. It was the energy that could propel us toward excellence, but only when governed by virtue. He wrote, "Pleasure in the right things at the right time in the right way. This is the mark of a wise man." So, what happens when desire and duty collide? When the heart wants what reason forbids? Aristotle would say, you must educate your desire, not kill it, train it like a flame, hot enough to give light, but never so wild it burns down your house. 3. Stoicism, the discipline of desire. Centuries later, the Stoics gave the world a colder, sterner philosophy. To them, desire was the source of all suffering. Epictetus warned, freedom is not achieved by satisfying desires, but by eliminating them. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, took this further. Ask yourself, will this desire matter when you are dying? To the Stoics, the path to peace was self-control. They believed that the universe was rational, and that every emotional storm we suffer arises not from events, but from our judgments about them. When passion threatens to consume you, when temptation whispers, the Stoic would not fight the emotion itself, but the illusion behind it. Because every desire carries a hidden belief that if we get what we want, we'll finally be complete. But that, they said, is the greatest lie of all. You are not incomplete. You are simply undisciplined. For the Stoic, desire must be mastered, not indulged, not worshipped, but understood. True freedom lies not in obeying your passion, but in choosing whether to act on it. 4. The Existentialists, freedom and responsibility. Then came the existentialists, Nietzsche, Sartre, and Camus, who shattered the moral certainties of the ancients. They said, there are no universal rules. There is no divine order that decides what's right or wrong. There's only you, your choices, your freedom, and the consequences that follow. For Sartre, desire was part of being human, but so was the burden of choice. He called it anguish, the pain of realizing that every decision shapes who we are. To choose desire over duty or duty over desire is to declare what kind of person you wish to become, and that freedom, he said, is terrifying. Nietzsche took it further. He rejected the moral rigidity of duty altogether. He asked us to become creators of our own values. Do what you will, he said, but become who you are. For Nietzsche, desire was not the enemy. It was the engine of life itself. But he warned, if your desire serves no higher purpose, it will rot you from within. Uncontrolled passion becomes nihilism. Disciplined passion becomes art. And so he offered the concept of amor fati, the love of one's fate. To desire not what you wish had happened, but what is. To say yes to life in all its contradictions. 5. The modern dilemma. Love in the age of distraction. Fast forward to today, the 21st century. Desire has become a commodity. It's sold to us in pixels and products, in promises of happiness that fade as soon as they're fulfilled. We scroll endlessly, not because we seek love, but because we crave stimulation. We've mistaken attention for intimacy. Commitment, meanwhile, has become a word people fear. It sounds heavy, restrictive, the opposite of freedom. But is it? Philosophy would argue the opposite. That commitment, when chosen consciously, is the highest form of freedom, because it is the act of directing your desire, of saying, this is what I choose again and again. To stay loyal, not because you have to, but because you decide to. And that's not weakness, that's mastery. We often think passion dies when duty begins. But the truth is, duty gives passion direction. It gives meaning to chaos. 6. The philosophy of self-mastery. All ancient schools, Stoic, Aristotelian, Buddhist, Confucian, converged on one truth. You cannot serve two masters. You either master desire, or desire masters you. Self-mastery doesn't mean suppression. It means alignment. When your values and your desires point in the same direction, you become unstoppable. Philosopher Seneca wrote, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart, and nothing is more wretched than a man who is a slave to his passions." The world glorifies indulgence. Philosophy glorifies restraint, but both are incomplete without understanding. Because neither repression nor indulgence lead to wisdom. Only reflection does. 7. The duty to desire. Wisely. Desire is not evil. It's a signal. It reveals what your soul hungers for. But not every hunger deserves to be fed. Ask yourself, does this desire make me more alive or more lost? Does it build who I am or destroy who I could become? Philosophy doesn't want to kill your passion. It wants to refine it until it serves something greater than pleasure. Purpose. Aristotle said, "The purpose of life is not to feel good, but to be good." But to be good, you must first understand your own nature, and that includes the part that desires. 8. The balance. Duty as desire's redemption. Desire without duty is chaos. Duty without desire is emptiness. Balance them, and you have a meaningful life. In Kantian ethics, duty is acting from moral law, not impulse. But even Kant admitted, when duty and desire align, the result is the purest form of joy, to do what's right and to love doing it. The philosopher's goal, then, isn't to kill desire. It's to teach it how to serve something enduring, to make love ethical, to make duty beautiful. And perhaps that's the secret. Duty doesn't kill desire, it gives it direction. 9. Final reflection. The freedom of alignment. So here's the paradox philosophy leaves us with. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. It's wanting what's worth doing. The next time you stand between desire and duty, don't ask which will make me happier. Ask, which will make me whole? Because in the end, desire is the fire that moves you, and duty is the form that holds you. Without one, you burn out. Without the other, you never burn at all. If this spoke to you, or if you've ever struggled between passion and principle, remember this. Wisdom is not choosing between the heart and the mind. It's teaching them to speak the same language. So before you go, subscribe to The Human Dilemma, not because you owe me anything, but because your search for balance deserves a companion. Together, we learn not how to be perfect, but how to be whole.